Daly City Recreation Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 22. Visit Daly City's virtual meeting website to register to attend the virtual meeting via Zoom, watch the live stream of the meeting, and view the agenda at bit.ly/dcjune22. COVID-19 announcement on public meetings. Pursuant to Governor Newsom's Executive Order N-2920, members of the Daly City Recreation Commission and staff will participate in this meeting via teleconference. Members of the public are encouraged to watch the meeting via live stream at bit.ly/dcjune22. For public participation, there are two ways to submit public comment. One, send written comments by 4 p.m. on meeting day, and two, register to speak at the meeting via Zoom. To submit a comment in writing, please email active@dalycity.org and write public comment in the subject line. In the body of the email, include the item number and/or title of the item, as well as your comments. All comments received by 4 p.m. will be emailed to the Recreation Commission members prior to the meeting. Comments received after 4 p.m. will be added to the record and shared with the Commission members following the public meeting. Comments are not read aloud into the record. To speak at the meeting, you must register to join via Zoom. The city requests that you complete your registration by 5 p.m. on the meeting date. After registering, you will receive a confirmation email containing instructions on how to join the meeting, including a unique link. Your address and email will not be disclosed to the public. Public comment is limited to 2 minutes maximum. To register to speak at the meeting via Zoom, visit bit.ly/reccommMTG, so RecCom meeting. You must familiarize yourself with Zoom prior to joining the meeting. When you would like to speak on an item during the public comment portion of the meeting, you'll need to use the raise hand feature in Zoom. The city will not be providing technical support. If you do not wish to speak, the city requests that you watch the live stream on the city's virtual meeting website at bit.ly/dcjune22. Persons with disabilities who require auxiliary aids or services in attending or participating in the meeting should call the office of the city clerk at 991-8078 as soon as possible. This meeting is now called to order, and we could start first with the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And first up is roll call.
Commissioner Pastor?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
And Chair Luna?
Here. Moving on, next item is the approval of tonight's agenda. Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'd like to enter a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And next up, for approval of the minutes for May 25, 2021.
You have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All of those in favor? Aye.
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 And moving on to the director's report.
Thank you very much. So tonight we have some great presentations from a few of our staff. And the first one that we're going to listen to would be our child and adult instructional baseball through Dave Nicora and Romeo Benson.
Hey, good evening. Prior to the pandemic, we did have a 2019 season. We had 5 teams in 2 divisions, T-ball and farm. 5 teams in each division, 100 kids overall. And the Daly City Youth Baseball Association was responsible for children ages 9 through 13. Once 2020 hit, we had to cancel the program due to the COVID pandemic. So we had to cancel that. And moving along into the 2021 baseball program planning, we took every protocol into consideration. We wanted to get the children and adults outside participating. We did take social distancing, wearing masks and 6 feet apart very seriously for our program. And we did do temperature checks prior to the program for all the participants. We did, with this program, want to have the children participate as well as a parent or a sibling or a guardian in the household accompany the child. And the program was overall run by the Daly City Youth Baseball Association coaches and assistants. And last but not least, with this program, we want to create a positive environment for everybody to enjoy and have fun. The Child and Adult Baseball program was an 8-week program that started on April 8th, 2021, and ended May 27th, 2021. It was on Thursday nights only. We had 2 divisions, a T-ball division and an intermediate division. The T-ball division was from ages 5 through 7, and that session ran 5:30 to 6:30. And the intermediate session was for children ages 7 through 9 years old, running 6:30 to 7:30. We limited the participation in each session to 12 participants and 12 adult and siblings/guardians in each division. So overall, there was 24 participants, 24 overall combined in both programs. We did offer the use of equipment, helmets, bats, and mitts. For those children that didn't have mitts, we supplied mitts, and we did give each child and adult that participated in the program a t-shirt and a hat for the program. During the program, the children and the parents worked together along with guidance from the Daly City Baseball Association. They were working on their skills, throwing, running, and sliding at bases, and all the techniques. And all the safety precautions as well were taken. And the program was a success overall, and everybody enjoyed themselves. And I was on hand to view a couple of the dates of the programs for both sessions, and I was very happy and pleased with the way the program had run. And moving along with that, at the end of the program, all the participants that participated, the players got a little goodie bag, as you could see in the middle picture. And if there's any questions you'd like to ask, I'm more than willing to answer to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you. I just had one question. I'm curious. So I understand it was limited to 24 participants. I'm curious, like, was there a lot more interest than that to enroll?
Well, I think we decided to cap it at a certain number for each session because of the pandemic. And even though the program is outside, we didn't want too many people to kind of be all in one place at the same time, because we only used one field. So, and we thought that was enough space for 12 children, participants, and 12 adults plus the coaches. And we felt that was sufficient for the program.
Got it.
But I can confirm, working in the office, there was many calls asking to add on after we hit that limit. So there was interest. But unfortunately, because as Dave said, there was limitations that we wanted to place to make sure that everything ran safely, but there was interest.
I guess the only question I have is just kind of looking a little down the line, just like let's say a year or two down the line, how big do you see this program getting?
Year or two down the line, I really can't project that at this time. I don't know what the numbers will be like, but I do believe with the proper publication and advertisement of the program, it will be bigger once we get over all this pandemic crisis and things. I know we're gearing toward the end of it, but I think once we're fully past, we'd be able to get more involvement depending on advertising.
Just to jump in, I know this program was just to take place in part of our youth basketball program, which was our T-ball and farm. In this case, me and Dave we're talking this morning, and we're like, we were thinking in our heads whether or not we do want to continue this program in the future, along with the T-ball and farm. Just because it was, I think the great part about this program was the fact to see the parents actually getting involved. That was the cool part about it. Baseball, it's like what Daly City Baseball Association would always tell me, baseball is dying, especially with our youth. This is a good way for baseball to get pumped up again with the parents, getting involved, enjoying, having fun with their children. It's a great opportunity to push the sport. So we'll look into it in the future, Nate.
Yeah, because I was definitely curious with like how you mentioned it's, I wouldn't say man, yeah, a lot of people say that baseball is dying. I definitely think it's just there's like a span of time right now where there's a lack of interest, and I know for a lot of recreators doing baseball, just curious on the challenges and like dealing with that particular like that lack of interest.
Well, first of all, David, thank you for continuing on and working with the 24 or 124 plus kids that did participate along with their parents. And the way I think about it is that I think about the days when we were drawing neighborhood teams from the parishes and from the neighborhoods, like the Bayshore and the CYO teams that also played in our league, the Daly City League. And so I would think there would still be interest out there once we lay out a guideline on that it is available, and maybe reach back into those similar communities to get the word out, so to speak, and that we have this program going. So yeah, we have the rec centers in those neighborhoods that we can start posting when we ever decide to do the expansion to greater than 124. So hopefully we can do that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Romeo. Our next presenter will be Gina Meganini, and she has a plethora of activity going on. So take it away, Gina.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gina. I believe I spoke to you guys pretty recently regarding 2 of the programs, but I just wanted to give a recap on them because the school year is over. A weird school year it was, but the kids are resilient and so are the staff. So I'd like to share a little bit what we did in our after school youth recreation program. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see, make sure everybody can see it. Yeah, can I get some thumbs up? Sorry. All right. So again, my name is Gina. I am the supervisor of the youth recreation program for after school programming. Now in this presentation, I'll talk a little bit about the programs that we ran on campuses and virtually, and some of the events that we coordinated due to the weirdness, for lack of a better word, of this school year. The 3 things that we're going to be focusing on today in my presentation is going to be, the first one is Daily Fun. Daily Fun is a virtual program that we'll talk about. The other one is a small group tutoring program that we partnered with the Jefferson Elementary School District. And then the third one for our after school programs is going to be an in-person, because one of our after school programs actually returned onto campus this year. So for the first one, our Daily Fun, this is a free virtual mentorship program. So basically what it is it's a Zoom room. It's a very fun Zoom room. We offer registration for all elementary school kids. And what they could do is register. And from there, we have activities set for the whole month. Our totals for the 10 months that we actually did this program was there was a total of 890 total enrolled. So 890. We averaged about 65 participants per month. This month and next month being summer, I was expecting the numbers to go down, but we have maxed out at 100 enrolled for both. Well, June has 104 because I let some kids in, but we have a lot of kids still. If you think about when we talk about we're at the end of the pandemic, these families are still in need of virtual programming and mentorship. So I was happy to see the enrollment for June and July. There's 548 unduplicate participants. So that means that we were able to touch or see or register 548. Now that doesn't mean that they came every day. That would be crazy. That would be a huge Zoom room. But it does mean that there was an interest in the program and that I've probably seen them once or twice. There was 472 Daly City residents and 76 non-residents, which just basically means that they're probably in some of our partnering schools. We did have a couple of kids move out of the area, but they stayed with us. But our average is 32 participants a day. So our number has been pretty consistent with 32. It jumps every once in a while to 42, and I think my highest has been 47. But on a consistent level, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have 32 kids Zooming in. At the time when I created this presentation, we had 112 hours served. We're probably at about like 114 now. So that's for the last 10 months. So this is what the Zoom room looks like. I know you probably can't feel the energy in it, and I have plans to show you a live feed. There is really cute recap videos on our social media, which is very cute, but there's no sound and kind of, you can't really see what they're actually doing. So I do have a video queued. And these are kids of all ages, as you can see. They're in home offices, they're at their family's office, they're at grandma's house, they're at grandpa's house, they're on the floor, they're in their jammies. There's a little bit of everything for our virtual program. I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen here, and now I'm gonna share another screen. Hopefully. Just give me 1 second. All right, can we all see this now? Yes. We see video? Okay, so this is one of our activities, and we were actually doing bubble painting, which sounded easy enough, but it turned, I don't know if you could see right in the middle of the screen, Ella and Caden. Just keep an eye on Ella and Caden. It turns into a little bit of room management, but also a lot of it of fun. So I just wanted to share just a tidbit of kind of what we're doing here.
A very tough school year, being distance learning and hybrid schedules. You guys are very resilient, and you guys are very strong and independent, and I am excited for you guys to move on to your next year of schooling. And if you guys would like to know what's going on with Ella and Caden, there's hair washing. I don't know. Can you please tell whoever's at home that I apologize? Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, your dog, whoever is over there taking care of you guys, I apologize for the bubbles. All right. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great, Alani, I see your hand up.
So I just wanted to share a little bit about exactly what it feels like in the room. It's fun. It's definitely fun, but it's constantly managing all the kids. And when they have an after school program, like most of our after school programs that we serve, they have a voice. So they always want to talk, and they always want to tell you what they had for lunch, and they always want to tell you this and that. So it's great in the beginning of the project, and then at the end to give them that opportunity. I know a lot of good dad jokes. I ask them at the end of every Zoom if they have any jokes. So it's definitely a fun time, and I really enjoy it. I'm just going to go back to my presentation. Sorry, one more time. All right. Okay, so that was Daily Fun, and then I'll now talk about the small group tutoring. Now, the small group tutoring is something that we partnered with Daniel Webster Elementary School. We actually offered it to all the elementary schools that we serve, which is 4 in total, but Daniel Webster was the only one with the funding from the state to help support it. Now, Daniel Webster is funded through the state because of their performance levels and their income level. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we were helping them during the school year, even if we weren't on campus. And the idea that we had along with the principal was to help support their Sound Partners reading program. So the Sound Partners is actually a full curriculum. It's for grades kindergarten through 2nd who are learning to read, and then there's intervention for 2nd and 3rd graders. So this is kids that are behind in reading. They're behind in phonics, they're behind in spelling, and it's really a direct one-on-one instruction. With the direct one-on-one instruction, obviously we're not going to be standing next to them or with them. It's all virtual. So these kids, as resilient as they are, they're able to show up to their tutoring session online with our staff members. The point for the staff was not only to mentor them and hang out with them and making sure that they were okay, number one, to check in how's home, how's school, how's life, but it was also to make sure that they were improving in their reading. There was 25 students served per trimester. So there were 75 students served for the whole year. And now this could be duplicated. And the numbers vary because I'm working with the principal and she wasn't quite sure. And at the time of this presentation, she's actually kind of going over all of her studies with the program. But as of right now, 75 students were probably duplicated. There was probably about 40 of them that had been promoted out of the reading program, which is a great number. But again, that is a ballpark from the principal. There was 334 hours served in this school year. And what we did is we would bill the Jefferson Elementary School District for our service hours. Okay. The last after school portion that I will talk about is we went back on campus. So Panorama Elementary School, which is in Brisbane School District, allowed the kids to come back on campus. Number one, because it's a very small school. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Panorama, but it's teeny tiny. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody had the same teacher, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. So it was a good place for us to return because the cohorts were small. We were able to serve small cohorts. We had 17 students total enrolled. We had a max participant availability of 24, which was 8 students per cohort. The cohorts were kindergarten and 1st grade, 2nd and 3rd, and then 4th and 5th. And I don't know if you've ever tried to keep kids away from each other in an after school setting, but it was very difficult. And with the help of the principal, she was able to give us 3 large areas in classrooms so we could separate them, making sure that they were washing their hands, wearing their mask, making sure that they were not only doing after school fun enrichment stuff, but we also have to coordinate with homework because this program, school got out at 11, which means from 11 to about 1:30, these kids are still in hybrid. So it was a responsibility of myself and the staff members that were on site to make sure that these kids were on their Chromebooks, zooming in to do math, English, music, and dance. There's a lot of schedules posted everywhere to make sure that the staff and the students were basically attending class each day. So this after school program was not a traditional one. We joke, the principal and I, this was school. The kids actually were in there and they had to go to school. But they, again, like I said, they're resilient. I had a kindergartner pull up her Google Classroom and plugged in her password and was on in a second. And I can't even remember how to get into my banking sometimes. So to see them kind of thrive in that setting was pretty remarkable. The last couple things that I would like to share is the community events. So community events was an idea that I thought of because at the time of this thought, we weren't really serving the schools that we serve. So Daniel Webster, Juniper Serra, and MH Tobias, including Panorama, we weren't on campus at this time. So I decided to basically approach the principals and the PTA and PTO and see if we could help host their promotions, their celebrations. And I know you guys have seen enough on TV, and you might have seen it on YouTube or on social media, but the promotions got a lot more creative this year. I think a lot more, we went away from the drive-ins, away from the drive-bys, and we went more drive-in. They spread it out. There are sound systems. So the 3 schools that we coordinated the promotions with is Daniel Webster, Juniper Serra, and MH Tobias. And they're all a little bit different. So I'll share some pictures, and then I'll just share how they were different. This is Daniel Webster. And you could see that there's cars on the left. So all the parents and families, grandma, grandpa, dogs, you name it, they were all in the cars. And then the students were actually seated. So this was a little bit different than the other ones. The principal is on the stage, and they actually stood up instead of receiving a promotion or a certificate. And how we supported is myself and my colleagues, Edgardo, who's here, and Ray Reyes and Chris Mariano, we all set up the sound system. So this sound system is amazing, and it's been used a lot, but it's a transmitter that actually is an FM radio that goes into the cars. So there's a lot of honking. If you have sensitive ears, the graduations or promotions was not for you. But this one was cool because the kids actually got to be outside, because at this time on the 10th of June, these kids were back in school. So these kids were already at school, so they were able to be outside. This is Juniper Serra, and this is a South San Francisco school, and this is an outside graduation. So you could see we're outside on their big yard. How we supported this was, well, we actually wanted to do a drive-in, but the PTO really wanted it in person. And when the PTO wants something, we do it. And so this is our graduation, and the kids sat outside, and the families. And you could see that they're clustered in groups, 2 and 3 and 4. So they were allowed a certain amount of people per family member to enjoy. These kids got to walk by, and they actually received a certificate. The third one is MH Tobias. And MH Tobias was a drive-in, and it was located at Lake Merced down at Westlake Park. And this was a hybrid one also. So the parents and the kids were in the car, and then the principal called the kids out via their class for their promotion. They did a little elbow bump, they got their certificate, and then they headed back. The last community event that I would like to share, and I think it was, I love them all, but this one was pretty special. Number one, because it was our first one and we had to learn on the fly. But this is the Jefferson Elementary School District Student of the Year celebration. So this is also a drive-in event. This was located at Westlake Park, and all 16 Jefferson Elementary School districts were present. So this is where the children from each school get selected to be Student of the Year. They come, they're acknowledged by their teacher. They're acknowledged with a speech and a certificate. District office personnel with our superintendents and our vice superintendents were there. Our city council members were present, the Como mayor and vice mayor, and then the 51 students and their families were all in their cars. It was also very, very loud. A lot of horns, all the cars were decorated. And I wanted to share just an aerial view that Justin did, who works in our administration office. I'm just gonna share my screen one more time. Pardon me, sorry. All right, so this is what it kind of looked like. So this is Westlake Park. This is the stage over here by the palm trees. And the cones were set up around here with the help of our wonderful food distribution crew. We're able to usher all the cars in and park them organized and efficiently. And this is just how, there's no sound to this, unfortunately, but just imagine a lot of honking if you want to. to be acknowledged as Student of the Year is a huge accomplishment for any child, but to have a district honor them and have it being able to still have the event during these times, the families and the kids were really appreciative of it. And then I think I am done, but let me just share one more time. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Is there any questions?
I don't have any questions, but this is just so amazing to see, just being able to see these events still happen, especially for these kids, like who, you want them to have something positive to remember during this time. And what a great way to just kind of continue that and share those milestones in this way. So amazing. And kudos to you and the whole team.
Yeah, no, thanks. It was what you don't see is all the crazy long meetings with the PTO and the janitor and the custodian and everything like that. But it was so nice to see these kids like really happy to see everybody and to be able to walk in front of a stage or on a stage or whatever it was. They were so happy, and it was great to be a part of.
So great.
Looks like you had weather on your side as well during those events. So
I did.
The
The South City one was, everyone was like, come on. And it was funny because we had to keep stopping because of the planes.
Oh.
And because it was too loud, we couldn't hear anything. But yeah, the sun was out. It was beautiful, good. All the events.
Thank you, Gina.
You're welcome.
And staff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Gina, just wanted to shout out your Daly Fund program for sure, because the numbers on that, like a lot of people don't realize that you need to have contact with around 700 to 800 students just to have a daily participation of 30 to 40 every day. So definitely congratulations on that, because I know like with the pandemic and everything, I feel like this has been like a relief for you now that a lot of this is like the heavy Zoom meetings, the heavy Zoom like participation with youth, especially doing after school projects. It just makes me really excited to see what our recreation staff from top to the bottom could do moving forward. And again, thank you so much for all the work that you've done.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's you kind of realize how cool your activity is with how many kids that show up, because they have the calendar ahead of time. So sometimes like when I had like a reading activity and we were going to talk about a recipe and I'm like signing in, I'm like, there's going to be 6 people here. And it was like packed. I'm like, okay, we like this book, because you just don't know, because you're just hoping that they show up, and getting their feedback of what they're interested in, I think is key too, to make sure that it's on the next calendar so we keep those kids consistently in the program.
I'm just imagining that all those participants had that date circled on their calendar to make sure they were on your Zoom presentation. So
yeah, you guys are all welcome. I'll send you the link.
There you go.
Gina, did you want to do a little blurb about the summer enrichment for Panorama? Just give a shell of what that's going to look like.
Oh, yes, absolutely. With the Panoramas, the school that I talked about that we went back to on campus, and with the amazing staff there and our site lead, Sherry, the principal had offered us an opportunity to run a summer camp there this summer. So we're currently there, and we're offering programming for 36 kids, age or grades, kindergarten through 5th. But these could also be 5th graders that have been promoted, because it's an extension of their summer school. So those kids that are enrolled in summer school could stay for the after part. We go 11:30 to 3:30. And again, we have 36 kids enrolled, and it's been a lot of fun. Also in different cohorts, but there's a little bit more of a wiggle room now with things that are lightening up in the Brisbane Unified School District relief pandemic relief plan. The kids are having a lot of fun, and so am I up there. So it's been good.
Thank you, Gina. That concludes the director's report.
Great, thank you. Next up is commissioners' reports. Does anyone have a report?
None here.
Okay. Moving on to announcements and communications.
Thank you. So we have a few upcoming, actually ongoing, some of them, events happening. The first, we have our lap swim program that's going on through June and July. It's going to be at the Giamona Pool. It has been happening, and it's been happening. Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. and Saturdays from 7 to 11 a.m. The cost is $10 for a 30-minute time slot, and everybody can register through our www.dalycity.org/iplay to get one of those spots. The second thing we have are movie nights coming up at Westlake Park on Friday, July 9th, which The Goonies is going to play, and Friday, July 23rd, we'll have Onward. The movie will start at sundown. It's $20 per vehicle, and each vehicle will receive a complimentary family snack pack. So remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Daly City Rec for updates. Next, we have the ARC Blended Learning Lifeguard course at the Giamona Pool on Monday, July 12th through Wednesday, July 14th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The cost is $193 for residents and $242 for non-residents. And for more information, contact Chris Mariano at cmariano@dalycity.org. And the last thing is the Cold Summer Nights. It's recreation time with your family. It's going to be at Gellert Park, 50 Wembley Drive on Friday, July 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. And there will be kickball, basketball, Zumba, and walking. And then for more information, contact Jeanette Ganame at jganame@dalycity.org. And we also have one more event, July 2nd, which is a Friday. There's going to be a barbecue that our recreation staff is putting on. It's a drive-through event. It's $15 per person. You can register online on our iPlay site, and there's a specific code for the barbecue. You get chicken, potato salad, a drink, pie. Deliciousness is happening. So you just pay for it. You drive up in the back parking lot. You pick them up and you go. And it's put on by Opal and David and the crew in the kitchen making all the lunches for the seniors. So come on by if you need more information. You can also give us an email at active@dalycity.org, or you can call our main line 650-991-8001 for more information. And then to transition into the public comment, I just want to remind everyone that the public comment is a 2-minute comment, and that the commission is unable to respond to items that are not on the agenda. So if there is anyone that would like to public comment, please raise your hand and the chair will select you. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. At this time, do we have any public comments? Is Alana Wong? Go ahead.
Hi, thanks. I just wanted to follow up. I haven't attended a meeting since pre-COVID, but I just wanted to follow up. I addressed the commission regarding the need for a basketball court in our community and the access to like a youth rec center or somewhere that kids are welcome to hang out. The The last I heard was the engineer was looking at converting one of the Westlake tennis courts into a basketball hoop. And I don't know if that is still on the agenda or if anything has happened with that. I just wanted to let the board know that if my kids want to go play basketball, they have to walk to March Banks, and I live by Skyline above Westlake. So that is quite a trek to go play a game of basketball, since the schools have completely enclosed their campuses and will no longer allow children access. My other concern was I have 3 kids. I have a kindergartner, a middle schooler, and a high schooler. And I taught my 2 older kids how to ride bikes at school. And I do not know where to take my daughter to learn how to ride a bike, because there's no, like, Gellert doesn't have a safe space. Westlake doesn't have a safe space. Nowhere has a place where kids can, learn to ride a bike and skateboard and such. So I don't know where to take her to do that, with the schools all being closed off. And then my last comment was just, I grew up in San Francisco. We had every playground pretty much had a park and rec clubhouse. And we were, as kids, welcome to hang out, play games, use the phone, use the restroom. It was just a safe place that we were welcome to be. And we're seriously lacking that in Daly City. With my 2 teenage sons, they're not welcome really anywhere. They're not welcome in Westlake. They're not welcome. And they're well-behaved kids, but there's just nowhere where they're allowed to be. So I think that's important for our community, especially with the kids being cooped up for so long. They definitely need a safe place where they're welcome to hang out with their friends and socialize. That's it. Thanks, guys. I love all the events that you've put on, and I love Daly City. I just hope we can do more for the kids and find a good solution. I think a basketball court in Westlake would be amazing. Even the Westlake School for Performing Arts parking lot is a huge empty space. I don't know what's happening there, but that's it. That's my piece. Thank you.
Thank you, Alana, for sharing. Does anybody want to share any other comments? Just checking, Jack, if you were about to say something.
Well, just to address Ms. Wong's desire for space for the youngsters, I hear what you're saying about the public schools not opening up to using their facilities, but I know that we had the Westlake, the War Memorial up there, that a bus ride might be able to get the youngster up there, with Samtrans from your neighborhood. I'm not sure what the routes are, but with Youth Fair, they might be able to get up to the War Memorial to play basketball. And as far as learning to ride bikes, I would just need to do a research on what's the available spaces. I don't know off the top of my head where you can go. So, but I think we need to put our heads together and see what's available within reasonable distance for each community to learn to do bike riding, and outside of parking lots, So, but yeah, it's a good question that maybe we could come back at to you with some ideas on that, and I'll take it upon myself to kind of like help find some things for you in the neighborhood that can be available for your youngsters. So.
Yeah, thank you again, Alana, for bringing those up. I also remember growing up here in Daly City, being able to go to the youth teen center, and so I remember having that, and just how it would be great to see something like that in Daly City, especially at this time. So thank you for these, and we'll definitely come together and discuss and get in touch. Are there any other public comments or announcements before we adjourn? If there are none at this time, this meeting is now adjourned. Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 27 at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Hey, Denise, can you hang on for a second?